हेलो। मेरी कंटिन्यूंस में again this criminal manual, and now I will start with CRPC. Probably it will go into three parts. It's called the Bhartiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita 2023, replacing Code of Criminal Procedure 1973. So let me start here. The Bhartiya Nagrik Suraksha Sanhita 2023 contains Chapter 1 Preliminary. First, short title Extent and Commencement. Second, Definition. Third, construction of references. Fourth is trial of offences under Bhartiya Nyaya Sanhita 2023 and other laws. Fifth is savings. Chapter 2, Constitution of Criminal Courts and Offices. 6, classes of criminal courts. 7, territorial divisions. 8, court of session. 9, courts of judicial magistrates. 10, chief judicial magistrate and additional chief judicial magistrate, etc. 11, special judicial magistrates. 12, local jurisdiction of judicial magistrates. 13, subordination of judicial magistrates. 14, executive magistrates. 15, special executive magistrates. 16, local jurisdiction of executive magistrates. 17, subordination of executive magistrates. 18, public prosecutors. 19, assistant public prosecutors. 20, directorate of prosecution. Chapter 3, power of courts. 21, courts by which offences are triable. 22, sentences which high courts and session judges may pass. 23, sentences which magistrates may pass. 24, sentence of imprisonment in default of time. 25, sentence in case of the conviction of several offences at one trial. 26, mode of conferring powers. 27, powers of officers appointed. 28, withdrawal of powers. 29, power of judges and magistrates exercisable by successors in office. Chapter 4, powers of superior officers of police and aid to the magistrates and the police. 30, powers of superior officers of police. 31, public when to assist magistrates and police. 32, aid to person other than police officer executing warrant. 33, public to give information of certain offences. 34, duty of officers employed in connection with affairs of a village to make certain report. Chapter 5, arrest of persons. 35, when police may arrest without warrant. 36, procedure of arrest and duties of officer making arrest. 37, designated police officer. 38, right of arrested person to meet an advocate of his choice during interrogation. 39, arrest on refusal to give name and residence. 40, arrest by private person and procedure on such arrest. 41, arrest by magistrate. 42, protection of members of armed forces from arrest. 43, arrest how made. 44, search of place entered by person sought to be arrested. 45, pursuit of offenders into jurisdictions. 46, no unnecessary restraint. 47, person arrested to be informed of grounds of arrest and of right to bail. 48, obligation of person making arrest to inform about arrest etc. to relative or friend. 49, search of arrested person. 50, power to seize offensive weapons. 51, examination of accused by medical practitioner at request of police officer. 52, examination of person accused of rape by medical practitioner. 53, examination of arrested person by medical officer. 54, identification of person arrested. 55, procedure when police officer deputes subordinate to arrest without warrant. 56, health and safety of arrested person. 57, person arrested to be taken before magistrate or officer in charge of police station. 58, person arrested not to be detained more than 24 hours. 59, police to report apprehensions. 60, discharge of person apprehended. 61, power on escape to pursue and retake. 62, arrest to be made strictly according to Sanhita. Chapter 6, process to compel appearance. 63, form of summons. 64, summons house served. 65, service of summons on corporate bodies, firms and societies. 66, service when person summoned cannot be found. 67, procedure when service cannot be effected as before provided. 68, service on government servant. 69, service of summons outside local limits. 70, proof of service in such cases and when serving officer not present. 71, service of summons on witness. Warrant of arrest. 72 form of warrant of arrest and duration. 73 power of to direct surety to be taken. 74 warrants to whom directed. 75 warrant may be directed to any person. 76 warrant directed to police officer. 77 notification of substance of arrest. 78 person arrested to be brought before court without delay. 79 where warrant may be executed. 80 warrant forwarded for execution outside jurisdiction. 81 warrant directed to police officer for execution outside jurisdiction. 82 procedure on arrest of person against whom warrant issued. 83 procedure by magistrate before whom such person arrested is brought. 84 proclamation of person absconding. 85 attachment of property of person absconding. 86 identification and attachment of property of proclaimed person. 87 claims and objections to attachment. 88 release, sale and restoration of attached property. 89 appeal from order rejecting application for restoration of attached property. 90 issue of warrant in lieu of or in addition to summons. 91 power to take bond or bail bond for appearance. 92 arrest on breach of bond or bail bond for appearance. 93 provisions of this chapter generally applicable to summons and warrants of arrest. Chapter 7 process to compel the production of things. Summons to produce document or other thing. 95 procedure as to letters. 96 when search warrant may be issued. 97 search of place suspected to contain stolen property, forged documents, etc. 98 power to declare certain publications forfeited and to issue search warrants for same. 99 application to High Court to set aside declaration of forfeiture. 100 search for persons wrongfully confined. 101 power to compel restoration of abducted females. 102 direction etc. of search warrants. 103 persons in charge of closed place to allow search. 104 disposal of things found in search beyond jurisdiction. 105 recording of search and seizure through audio, video, electronic means. 106 power of police officer to seize certain property. 107 attachment, forfeiture or restoration of property. 108 magistrate may direct search in his presence. 109 power to impound document etc. produced. 110 reciprocal arrangements regarding processes. Chapter 8 reciprocal arrangements for assistance in certain matters and procedure for attachment and forfeiture of property. 111 definitions. 112 letter of request to competent authority for investigation in a country or place outside India. 113 letter of request from a country or place outside India to a court or an authority for investigation in India. 114 assistance in securing transfer of persons. 115 assistance in relation to orders of attachment or forfeiture of property. 116 identifying unlawfully acquired property. 117 seizures or attachment of property. 118 management of property seized or forfeited under this chapter. 119 notice of forfeiture of property. 120 forfeiture of property in certain cases. 121 fine in lieu of forfeiture. 122 certain transfers to be null and void. 123 procedure in respect of letter of request. 124 application of this chapter. Chapter 9 security for keeping the peace and for good behavior. 125 security for peace, keeping peace on conviction. 126 security for keeping peace in other cases. 127 security for good behavior from persons disseminating certain matters. 128 security for good behavior from suspected persons. 129 security for good behavior from habitual offenders. 130 order to be made. 131 procedure in respect of person present in court. 132 summons or warrant in case of person not so present. 133 copy of order to accompany summons or warrant. 134 power to dispense with personal attendance. 135 inquiry as to truth of information. 136 order to give security. 137 discharge of person informed against. 138 commencement of period for which security is required. 139 contents of bond. 140 power to reject sureties. 141 imprisonment in default of security. 142 power to release persons imprisonment for failing to give security. 143 security for unexpired period or bond. Chapter 10 order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. 144 order for maintenance of wives, children and parents. 145 procedure. 146 alteration in allowance, 147 enforcement of order of maintenance, Chapter 11 maintenance of public order and tranquility, 148 dispersal of assembly by use of civil force, 149 use of armed forces to disperse assembly, 150 power to certain armed forces officers to disperse assembly, 151 protection against prosecution for acts done under section 148, 149 and 150, 152 conditional order for removal of nuisance, 153 service of notification of order, 154 person to whom order is addressed to obey or show cause, 155 penalty for failure to comply with section 154, 156 procedure where existence of public right is denied, 157 procedure where person against whom order is made under section 1 appears to show cause, 158 power of magistrate to direct local investigation and examination of an expert, 159 power of magistrate to furnish written instructions, 160 procedure on order being made absolute and consequences of disobedience, 161 injunction pending inquiry, 162 magistrate may prohibit repetition and or continuance of public nuisance, 163 power to issue order in urgent cases of nuisance or apprehended danger, 164 procedure where dispute concerning land or water is likely to cause breach of peace, 165 power to attach subject of dispute and to appoint receiver, 166 dispute concerning right of use of land or water, 167 local inquiry. Chapter 12 preventive action of the police, 168 police to prevent cognizable offences, 169 information of design to commit cognizable offences, 170 arrest to prevent commission of cognizable offences, 171 prevention of injury to public property, 172 persons bound to conform to lawful directions of police. Chapter 13 information to police officer and their power to investigate, 173 information in cognizable cases, 174 information as to non-cognizable cases and investigation of such cases, 175 police officers power to investigate cognizable case, 176 procedure for investigation, 177 report how submitted, 178 power to hold investigation or a preliminary inquiry, 179 police officers power to require attendance of witnesses, 180 examination of witnesses by police, 181 statements to police and use thereof, 182 no inducement to be offered, 183 recording of confessions and statements, 184 medical examination of victim of rape, 185 search by police officer, 186 when officer in charge of police station may require another to issue search warrant, 187 procedure when investigation cannot be completed in 24 hours, 188 report of investigation by subordinate police officer, 189 release of accused when evidence deficient, 190 cases to be sent to magistrate when evidence is sufficient, 191 complainant and witnesses not to be required to accompany police officer and not to subject to restraint, 192 diary of proceedings in investigation, 193 police officer report of police officer on completion of investigation, 194 police to inquire and report on suicide, 195 power to summon persons, 196 inquiry by magistrate into cause of death. Chapter 14 jurisdiction of criminal courts and inquiries and trials, 197 ordinary place of inquiry and trial, 198 place of inquiry or trial, 199 offence triable where act is done or consequence ensures, 200 place of trial where act is an offence by reason of relation to other offence, 201 place of trial in case of certain offences, 202 offences committed by means of electronic communications, letters, etc., 203 offence committed on journey or voyage, 204 place of trial for offences triable together, 205 power to order cases to be tried in different sessions divisions, 206 High Court to decide in case of doubt district where inquiry or trial shall take place, 207 power to issue summons or warrants for offence committed beyond local jurisdiction, 208 offence committed outside India, 209 receipt of evidence relating to offences committed outside India. Chapter 15 Conditions requisite for initiation of proceedings. 210 cognizance of offence by magistrate. 211 transfer on application of accused. 212 making over of case to magistrate. 213 cognizance of offences by court of session. 214 additional session judge to try cases made over to them. 215 prosecution for contempt of lawful authority to public servants for offences against public justice and for offences relating to documents given in evidence. 216 procedure for witnesses in case of threatening. 217 prosecution for offences against state and for criminal conspiracy to commit such offence. 218 prosecution of judges and public servants. 219 prosecution for offences against marriage. 220 prosecution of offences under section 85 of Bhartiya Sanhita 2023. 221 cognizance of offence. 222 prosecution for defamation. Chapter 16 complaints to magistrates. 223 examination of complainant. 224 procedure by magistrate not competent to take cognizance of case. 225 postponement of issue of process. 226 dismissal of complaint. Chapter 17 commencement of proceedings before magistrates. 227 issue of process. 228 magistrates may dispense with personal attendance of accused. 229 special summons in case of petty offences. 230 special supplied to accused of copy of police report and other documents. 231 supply of copies of statements and documents to accused in other cases triable by court of session. 232 commitment of case to court of session when offence is triable exclusively by it. 233 procedure to be followed when there is a complaint case and police investigation in respect to same offence. Chapter 18 the charge. 234 contents of charge. 235 particulars as to time, place and person. 236 when manner of committing offence must be stated. 237 words in charge taken in sense of law under which offence is punishable. 238 effect of errors. 239 court may alter charge. 240 recall of witnesses when charge altered. 241 separate charge for distinct offences. 242 offence of same kind within year may be charged together. 243 trial for more than one offence. 244 where it is doubtful what offence has been committed. 244 when offence proved included in offensive charged. 246 what persons may be charged jointly. 247 withdrawal of remaining charge on conviction on one of several charges. Chapter 19 trial before a court of session. 248 trial to be conducted by public prosecutor. 249 opening case for prosecution. 250 discharge. 251 framing of charge. 252 conviction on plea of guilty. 253 date for prosecution evidence. 254 evidence for prosecution. 255 acquittal. 256 entering upon defense. 257 arguments. 258 judgment of acquittal or conviction. 259 previous conviction. 260 procedure in cases instituted under subsection 2 of section 222. Chapter 20 trial of warrant cases by magistrates. 261 compliance with section 230. 262 when accused shall be discharged. 263 framing of charge. 264 conviction on plea of guilty. 265 evidence for prosecution. 266 evidence for defense. 267 evidence for prosecution. 268 when accused shall be discharged. 269 procedure where accused is not discharged. 270 evidence for defense. Conclusion of trial. 271 acquittal or conviction. 272 absence of complainant. 273 compensation for accusation without reasonable cause. Trial of summon cases by magistrates. 274 substance of accusation to be stated. 275 conviction on plea of guilty. 276 conviction of plea of guilty in absence of accused in petty cases. 277 procedure when not convicted. 278 acquittal or conviction. 279 non-appearance or death of complainant. 280 withdrawal of complaint. 281 power to stop proceeding in certain cases. 282 power of court to convert summons case into warrant case. Chapter 22 283 power to try summarily. 284 summary trial by magistrate of second class. 285 procedure for summary trials. 286 record in summary trials. 287 Judgment in cases tried summarily. 288 Language of record in judgment. Chapter 23 Plea bargaining. 289 Application of chapter. 290 Application for plea bargaining. 291 Guidelines for mutually satisfactory disposition. 292 Report of mutually satisfactory disposition to be submitted before court. 293 Disposal of case. 294 Judgment of court. 295 Finality of judgment. 296 Power of court in plea bargaining. 297 Period of detention undergone by accused to be set off against sentence of imprisonment. 298 Savings. 299 Statements to accused not to be used. 300 Non-application of chapter. Chapter 24 Attendance of persons confined or detained in prisons. 301 Definitions. 302 Power to require attendance of prisoners. 303 Power of state government or central government to exclude certain persons from operation of section 302. 304 Officer in charge of prison to abstain from carrying out order in certain contingencies. 305 Prisoner to be brought in court in custody. 306 Power to issue commission for examination of witness in person. Chapter 25 Evidence in inquiries and trials. 307 Language of courts. 308 Evidence to be taken in presence of accused. 309 Record in summons case and inquiries. 310 Record in warrant cases. 311 Record in trial before court of session. 312 Language of record of evidence. 313 Procedure in regard to such evidence when completed. 314 Interpretation of evidence to accused or his advocate. 315 Remarks respecting demeanor of witness. 316 Record of examination of accused. 317 Interpreter to be bound to interpret truthfully. 318 Record in High Court. 319 But attendance of witness may be dispensed with and commission the issued. 320 Commission to whom to be issued. 321 Execution of commissions. 322 Parties may examine witnesses. 323 Return of commission. 324 Adjournment of proceedings. 325 Execution of foreign commissions. 326 Disposition of medical witness. 327 Examination identification report of magistrate. 328 Evidence of officers of mint. 329 Report of certain government scientific experts. 330 No formal proof of certain documents. 331 Evidence and proof of conduct of public servants. 332 Evidence of formal character on affidavit. 333 Authorities before whom affidavits may be sworn. 334 Previous conviction or acquittal how proved. 335 Record of evidence in absence of accused. 336 Evidence of public servants, experts, police officers in certain cases. Chapter 26 General provisions as to inquiries and trials. Persons once convicted or acquitted not to be tried for same offence. 338 Appearance by public prosecutors. 339 Permission to conduct prosecution. 340 Right of person against whom proceedings are instituted to be defended. 341 Legal aid to accused at state expense in certain cases. 342 Procedure when corporation or registered society is an accused. 343 Tender of pardon to accomplice. 344 Power to direct tender of pardon. 345 Trial of person not complying with conditions of pardon. 346 Power to postpone or adjourn proceedings. 347 Local inspection. 348 Power to summon material witness or examine person present. 349 Power of magistrate to order person to give specimen signature or handwriting. 350 Expenses of complainants and witnesses. 351 Power to examine witnesses. 351 is Power to examine accused. 352 Oral arguments and memorandum of arguments. 353 Accused person to be competent witness. 354 No influence to be used to induce disclosure. 355 Provision for inquiries and trial being held in absence of accused in certain cases. 356 Inquiry, trial or judgment in absentia of proclaimed defender. 357 Procedure where accused does not understand proceedings. 358 Power to proceed against other person appearing to be guilty of offence. 359 Compounding of offences. 360 Withdrawal from prosecution. 361 Procedure in cases which magistrate cannot dispose of. 362 Procedure where after commencement of inquiry or trial, magistrate finds case should be committed. 363. Trial of persons previously convicted of offences against coinage, stamp law or property. 364. Procedure where magistrate cannot pass sentence sufficiently severe. 365. Conviction or commitment on evidence partly recorded by one magistrate and partly by another. 366. Court to be open. Chapter 27. Provisions as to accused persons of unsound mind. Procedure in case of accused person being of unsound mind. Procedure in case of person of unsound mind being tried thereof. Release. 369. Release of person of unsound mind pending investigation or trial. 370. Resumption of inquiry or trial. 371. Procedure on accused appearing before magistrate or court. 372. When accused persons to have been of sound mind. 373. Judgment of acquittal on ground of unsoundness of mind. 374. Person acquitted on ground of unsoundness of mind to be detained in safe custody. 375. Power of state government to empower officer in charge to discharge. 376. Procedure where prisoner of unsound mind is reported capable of making his defense. 377. Procedure where person of unsound mind detained is declared fit to be released. 378. Delivery of person of unsound mind to care of relative or friend. Chapter 28. Provisions as to offence affecting the administration of justice. 379. Procedure in cases mentioned in section 215. 380 is appeal. 381 is power to order costs. 382. Procedure of magistrate taking cognizance. 383. Summary procedure for trial for giving false evidence. 384. Procedure in certain cases of contempt. 385. Procedure where court considers that case could not be dealt with under section 384. 386. When registrar or sub-registrar to be deemed to a civil court. 387. Discharge of offender on submission of apology. 388. Imprisonment or committal of person refusing to answer or produce document. 389. Summary procedure for punishment for non-attendance by a witness in obedience to summons. 390. Appeals for convictions under section 383, 384, 388 and 389. 391. Certain judges and magistrates not to try certain offences when committed before themselves. The judgment. 392. Judgment. 393. Language of content of judgment. 394. Order for notifying address of previously convicted offender. 395. Order to pay compensation. 396. Victims compensation scheme. 397. Treatment of victims. 398. Witness protection scheme. 399. Compensation to persons groundlessly arrested. 400. Order to pay costs in non-cognizable cases. 401. Order to release on probation of good conduct or after admonition. 402. Special reasons to be recorded in certain cases. 403. Court not to alter judgment. 404. Copy of judgment to be given to accused and other persons. 405. Judgment when to be translated. 406. Court of Session to send copy of finding and sentence to district magistrate. Chapter 30. Submission of death sentences for confirmation. 407. Sentence of death to be submitted by Court of Session for confirmation. 408. Power to direct further inquiry to be made or additional evidence to be taken. 409. Power of High Court to confirm sentence or annul conviction. 410. Confirmation of new sentence to be signed by two judges. 411. Procedure in cases of difference of opinion. 412. Procedure in cases submitted to High Court for confirmation. Chapter 31. Appeals. No appeal to lie unless otherwise provided. 414. Appeal from orders requiring security or refusal to accept or rejecting surety for keeping peace or good behavior. 415. Appeals from convictions. 416. No appeal in certain cases when accused pleads guilty. 417. No appeal in petty cases. 418. Appeal by state government against sentence. 419. Appeal in case of acquittal. 420. Appeal against conviction by High Court in certain cases. 421. Special right of appeal in certain cases. 422. Appeal to Court of Session how heard. 423. Petition of appeal. 424. Procedure when appellant in jail. 425. Summary dismissal of appeal. 426. Procedure for hearing appeals not dismissed summarily. 427. Powers of appellate court. 428. Judgments of subordinate appellate court. 429. Order of High Court on appeal to be certified to lower court. 430. Suspension of sentence pending appeal, release of appellant and bail. 431 arrest of accused and appeal from acquittal. 432 appellate court may take further evidence to direct it to be taken. 433 procedure where judges of court of appeal are equally divided. 434 finality of judgments and orders on appeal. 435 abatement of appeals. Chapter 32 reference and revision. 436 reference to High Court. 437 disposal of case according to the decision of High Court. 438 calling for records to exercise power of revision. 439 power to order inquiry. 440 session judges power of revision. 441 power of additional session judge. 442 High Court's power of revision. 443 power of High Court to withdraw or transfer revision cases. 444 option of High Court to hear parties. 445 High Court's order to be certified to lower court. 446 power of Supreme Court to transfer cases and appeals. 447 power of High Court to transfer cases and appeals. 448 power of session judge to transfer cases and appeals. 449 withdrawal of cases and appeals by session judges. 450 withdrawal of cases by judicial magistrates. 451 making over or withdrawal of cases by executive magistrates. 452 reasons to be recorded. Chapter 34 execution, suspension, remission and commutation of sentences. 453 execution of order passed under section 409. 450 execution of sentence of death passed by High Court. 455 postponement of execution of sentence of death in cases of appeal to Supreme Court. 456 commutation of sentence of death on pregnant women. 457 power to appoint place of imprisonment. 458 execution of sentence of imprisonment. 459 direction of warrant for execution. 460 warrant with whom to be lodged. 461 warrant for levy of fine. 462 effect of such warrant. 463 warrant for levy of fine issued by a court in any territory by which this Sanhita does not extend. 464 suspension of execution of sentence of imprisonment. 465 who may issue warrant. 466 sentence on escaped convict when to take effect. 467 sentence on offender already sentenced for another offence. 468 period of detention undergone by accused to be set off against sentence of imprisonment. 469 saving. 470 return of warrant on execution of sentence. 471 money ordered to be paid recoverable as fine. 472 mercy petition in death sentence cases. 473 power to suspend or remit sentences. 474 power to commute sentence. 475 restriction on powers of remission or commutation in certain cases. 476 concurrent powers of central government in case of death sentence. 477 state government to act after concurrence with central government in certain cases. Chapter 35 provisions as to bail bonds. 478 in what cases bail to be taken. 479 maximum period for which under trial prisoner can be detained. 480 when bail may be taken in case of non-bailable offences. 481 bail to require accused to appear before next appellate court. 482 direction for grant of bail to person apprehending arrest. 483 special powers of High Court or session or court of session regarding bail. 484 amount of bond and reduction thereof. 485 bond of accused and sureties. 486 declaration by sureties. 487 discharge from custody. 488 power to order sufficient bail when that first taken is insufficient. 489 discharge of sureties. 490 deposit instead of recognizance. 491 procedure when bond has been forfeited. 492 cancellation of bond and bail bond. 493 procedure in cases of insolvency of death of surety or when a bond is forfeited. 494 bond required from child. 495 appeal from orders under section 491. 496 power to direct levy of amount due on certain recognizances. Chapter 36 disposal of property. 497 order for custody and disposal of property pending trial in certain cases. 498 order for disposal of property at conclusion of trial. 499 payment to innocent purchaser of money found on accused. 500 appeal against orders under section 498 or 499. 501 Destruction of libelous and other matters. 502 Power to restore possession of immovable property. 503 Procedure by police upon seizure of property. 504 Procedure where no claimant appears within 6 months. 505 Power to sell perishable property. 506 Chapter 37 Irregular proceedings. 506 Irregularities which do not vitiate proceedings. 507 Irregularities which vitiate proceedings. 508 Proceedings in wrong place. 509 Non-compliance with provisions of Section 183 or Section 316. 510 Effect of omission to frame or absence of or error in charge. 511 Findings or sentence when reversible by reason or of error, omission or irregularity. 512 Defect or error not to make attachment unlawful. Chapter 38 Limitation for taking cognizance of certain offences. 513 Definitions. 514 Bar to taking cognizance after lapse of period of limitation. 515 Commencement of period of limitation. 516 Exclusion of time in certain cases. 517 Exclusion of date on which court is closed. 518 Continuing offence. 519 Extension of period of limitation in certain cases. Chapter 39 Miscellaneous. 520 Trials before High Courts. 521 Delivery to commanding officers of persons liable to be tried by court martial. 522 Forms. 523 Powers of High Court to make rules. 524 Power to alter functions allocated to executive magistrate in certain cases. 525 Cases in which judge or magistrate is personally interested. 526 Practicing advocate not to sit as magistrate in certain courts. 527 Public servant concerned in sale not to purchase or bid for property. 528 Saving of inherent powers of court. 529 Duty of High Court to exercise continuous superintendence over courts. 530 Trial and proceedings to be held in electronic mode. 531 Repeal and savings, the first schedule, the second schedule. So this is almost a 38-minute video, and I've read the index, and from my experience and whatever trials I've done little bit and whatever I've learned, so I've read the index for you guys. You can read it, you can watch the video, you can hear it. It will definitely help you. It is helping me also. So whatever it is, I mean, मैंने पढ़ दिया है और मैं वीडियो भी डाल रहा हूँ. I don't know whether it will help or not, but it should help surely, and that's my effort. मेहनत करते चलो. कर्म अच्छा रखो अपना. Thank you.